Okay, this presentation is on MyOpenMath, which is a free learning system for STEM subjects, and it's similar to Pearson's MyMathLab. So it's good not only for math, and there's a lot of prepackaged math courses with this, but it's also good for chemistry, physics, and other science courses. And you'll see courses listed on MyOpenMath that are already set up from basic math all the way up through differential equations, linear algebra, and statistics. Pre-set up courses, and also you can edit them. So let's go ahead and look at this. So first of all, the reasons why you might use an OER such as MyOpenMath, which is a free learning management system specifically for math, is like I said, it's similar to MyMathLab and also ALEKS. But those cost money, and also you don't have the freedom to write your own questions, or if you do, maybe a new edition of the textbook comes out and you have to mess with that. So these are going to save your courses the way you like it, and you have a lot more freedom with it. So first of all, the material won't change just because your college has changed an LMS. I don't know if that's happened to you before, but I remember we used to use Blackboard, and then when we changed to Brightspace or whatever, you lose all that material. Plus, doing algorithmically generated questions in Brightspace is impossible. In Blackboard, it's nearly impossible. And when you do it, it's not the same level of algorithmically generated questions as you get with MyOpenMath. Also, the material won't change just because there's a new edition of the book, or you've decided to change the book, or maybe your department's decided to change the book. So you have that material. So you control your course. You can add questions that are already made up. There's over 500,000 questions on MyOpenMath. Many of them are algorithmically generated. So you can add questions, delete questions. You can write questions that are scaffolded, so that during the questions the students are learning the material. Link to other things, mix in their social issue questions that involve mathematics and so on. Any type of question that you want that typically you don't find in textbooks. For example, I went through MyMathLab looking for college algebra textbooks, and I could hardly find anything that's applications of rational functions where you're finding realistic horizontal asymptotes and vertical asymptotes of realistic problems. So I think, and also written in a way where it's just not saying what is the horizontal asymptote. So I've written hundreds of questions for MyOpenMath, and they're out there for anybody to use in their course. And so are my entire courses available, and I'll show you those as we go through. So also, you keep the cost down, and actually, MyOpenMath is free, and the site actually offers free textbooks for students. I actually use my own textbooks for college algebra, statistics, and developmental math that I've written myself, and those textbooks are very inexpensive. And the reason why I use my own textbook is because I use Excel sheets that do the mathematics and number crunching, whether it be for algebra or for statistics, and I'll try to put those up on the link too for this presentation. So you can create courses that do not even require a textbook. There's courses on there by genre in MyOpenMath, like for example web-based courses that don't require a textbook, that are all based on video links and so on. But I do have textbooks with mine, and I also have the linked videos and written examples on many of my problems, and I'll show you those. MyOpenMath uses algorithmically generated questions, and they're automatically graded, which is really nice. But you can have any type of question you want. If you want to have essay question, if you want to have a file download question where the students attach a screenshot of something, maybe their work or something they've done on Excel or whatever, you can have them attach files to the problem, essay, multiple choice, any type you like. I definitely like the algorithmically generated questions because there's no guessing with it. If you give a question, and you can have, different options for these that we'll go through with all these type of problems. And then there is an equation editor in the where students can use the equation editor to enter their answers. You can even have the answer as being an expression or instead of them having to type it in a calculator and get a decimal approximation, they can type in the square root of 2 over 5 if that's the answer, and MyOpenMath will grade that as well. So those are all the options for that. Features of MyOpenMath, thousands of courses already created. If you want to find something on college algebra, you'll find at least 20, 30 college algebra courses already made up, and all of them with questions in them. Or you can build your own, which is how I did it. I just searched for questions, and then after I used it for a while, I started writing my own questions. You can and when you do start writing your own questions, I recommend templating a question, because what that does is then you'll get your own question. It will make a copy of the question, and then you can edit it. Maybe you don't like the values that could show up for the problem, or maybe you want to change the names. They have in the coding, you can do random female name, random male name in there. There's a lot of, it's very robust in terms of the randomness of the question and how you want to adjust that. So you can also add help links, such as written examples and video links, to any problem. And even when you put that on the problem, like if you did that for a homework problem, you can then say on the test, don't show the written examples and that sort of thing. You can also say how many tries they get on homework, and then on the test, same question, give less tries on it, or one try, and don't show the videos, don't show the written examples, however you like to set that up with that. And moving on here, like I said, there's thousands of courses created, basic math, developmental math, algebra through calculus, all the way up through trig, pre-calculus, calculus 1, 2, 3, differential equations, linear algebra, statistics, different types of statistics courses. My statistics course that I have on there has some data analysis on there. It's still a first statistics course that you would have at a college or even at a high school. There's different liberal arts math courses like quantitative analysis and non-STEM major type of math courses. There's math for elementary school teachers. I actually created one of my own courses for that, which I'll show you, which focuses on the praxis test. And I do plan on making another math for elementary school teachers that gets more into problem solving. There's applied calculus research method, and like I said, physics and chemistry are on there too. But you could use MyOpenMath to teach psychology, because if you just want to do multiple choice questions, you can write multiple choice questions in it. So it has all those features of Blackboard and Canvas and Brightspace, plus the ability to do great algorithmically generated questions that are in-depth algorithmically, not just a little tiny one variable that changes. So you can start with a blank course and go from scratch, or you can copy a course. You can search for questions to add to a course. You can delete and add. Access to thousands of generated questions, and like I said, you can add or delete questions. When templating a question, it copies the problem. Then you can edit the code, and again, you don't have to do this right off the pad. You never have to do that if you don't want to, but if you want to create your own questions, you can edit the code to the problem. Like, first of all, you could just edit the wording of the question very easily. You can change the question layout and change the question type, and I'll get into that with a second. Like, for example, there's multiple choice and fill in the blank, and then there's calculated questions. That's your algorithmically generated questions. If you're dealing with algorithmically generated questions, then there's random variables that will be in there, and you can adjust the range of those variables. Like, maybe you don't want decimals to show up in the problem, for example. So you can adjust that however you like. Random names of people in there, you can choose the names in a word problem randomly. And even the units, you could throw in a random unit of like feet or meters or whatever. And then you use that code to create your own problem, try it out, see how it works, and then you have it on your site. Almost all my questions now are ones that I've edited. And then on the questions, you can add written examples and video links. And then you can pick if you want these video links to show. For example, you might want to show the help links on homework questions, but not on tests. And so here's some settings for my Open Math. This is my settings I use for homework. So I show the hints when available in the video text buttons. I used to have this clicked also, message the instructor, but then I would be answering one student question and only that student would get that. So they can message me on a link on my Open Math that just says message, and then they can message me, and I believe they can message other students. But this is the thing I like the best. So I have this available on every question, on homework questions and practice tests, but not on the test. And that is post this question to the forum. And when they click that link, automatically their question shows up there with their random variable for that problem. You know, it may be just say a simple problem like factoring x squared minus 3x minus 4 or something. So they get that problem. When they post it, it posts it. And then I tell my students that they have to say what they did to try to solve this problem. And with my Open Math, there's two things with everywhere that they can type. First of all, they can attach files and links very easily. There's just a button to click to attach a file to it. And what I have, since my students use Excel a lot in college algebra and statistics, is I want them to attach a screenshot. So they just use a snipping tool on their computer, take a little picture of that, or they do it with their phone and attach that picture so that I can see what they typed into Excel. The other thing they can do is if there's math that they need to type, there's an equation editor in there, just like there's an equation editor when they answer the problems. So they can type, I did x squared over 4, blah, 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 and it shows up nice. Now, a lot of students don't do that, but at least you as the instructor can type it back in a nice format that shows really well for the students. So, and then with the helps and hints, my settings for tests, I don't show those things, and I don't have the link. So the types of problems that are available for you to use, or in all these different courses, including chemistry and physics, or for you to write or template to write your own questions, are number questions. That's just straightforward. The answer is a number, very basic. Calculated number. And then when you see the word calculated, that means it's algorithmically generated. So this is the one I use definitely a high percentage of time right there. Actually, the one I use the most is this one right here, multi-part, because that way I can ask one question that has 3 parts to it. And then one part could be maybe multiple choice, another one could be a calculated number, and another one could be maybe a multiple answer, or do any, maybe all are calculated. So it's any choice that you want. But you can notice that it also can be a string, like maybe your answer might be multinomial, or just standard deviation. And if you're worried about people spelling some word wrong on multinomial, maybe you're just happy if they get multi right. So you can do multi, put in an asterisk, and boom, it gives them a lot of choices. Or maybe you're thinking there could be a couple options for that string that could be correct. Well, you can put in multiple ones in that, and you can just look on other questions that are strings and see how other people have already coded it in with the or statement. They just put an or in there and it accepts all of them. Essay, I use that a lot of times in the Math for Education course, where students actually need to take a picture or do a video of themselves teaching something. I watch the video and I give them points for it. These are not automatically graded. However, you can have those things automatically graded, the essays, and it's called, there's a code for that. It's like take anything. So on that, you might just, I watched the video, yes, and boom, if you're into that type of thing. There's even take anything or blank. So even if it's blank, you're giving them credit for it. Like, for example, a survey type of thing. You're hoping the students do a survey, and maybe this type of thing is any comments. So they may not have any comments, but you're not going to take any points off of them for that. There's drawing ones where they have to draw a parabola or any type of, even a triangle. There's some problems that link to GeoGebra, that website, and you know, it checks the drawing that they made. And again, it's not like they're drawing freehand. It's basically like, for example, with a parabola or, well, at least with a line, it's a 2-point thing. And with a parabola, I believe it's still a 2-point thing with a parabola. It's like a vertex point and another point to get the parabola on that. But a lot of choices on that. And then there's n-tuple, which is ordered pair or higher than that.